So, about a week ago, Derpy54320, formerly known as The Boss 54320, released a first-person mod. Many people have attempted this sort of mod in the past, but it seems like we now finally have a mostly finished first-person mod available for anyone to download. Now, as some of you may know, Winter, also known as Derpy54320, has made several very popular mods for Bully, including, but not limited to, Insanity Edition, The Cure, and Supermod. First Person Mod 1.0, as it's simply called, is, like many of Winter's other projects, open source and can be configured in many different ways, ranging from adjusting the camera control sensitivity to binding certain keys and buttons to a few extra features. You can also enable a way to disable and re-enable the first person mode via the press of a button. Oh, and this mod is a scripts.img mod, so it is very easy to install. As for whether or not this is compatible with Anniversary Edition, I have no idea how well it would run on any other version of the game other than PC, so I'd imagine that you would run into a lot of problems. Although the mod is very detailed and close to perfection, at least in my opinion, I did come across a few minor issues here and there. For instance, sometimes after chapter transitions and other mini cutscenes, you may face a problem that seemingly happens at random, where most of the controls stop working in first person. Entering and exiting the clothing menu, for whatever reason, seems to fix this, though I could see how this can become a problem for someone who is unaware of what causes this issue and how to fix it. Another problem I found is the first person mode not executing at all when you restart the story, but there is actually a way of fixing that. As of now, reloading a save and then restarting the story seems to be the only way to work around this. As far as I can tell, it's about 50-50, so you just gotta keep trying until eventually it actually works. Now, interestingly enough, I'm actually credited as a collaborator on this project, but if I'm gonna be completely honest, then I should point out that the amount of work I put into the mod is, well, a modicum compared to the amount of work Winter put into it. Even though I do appreciate the credit, I cannot in good conscience take any credit for this mod. This is simply another instance of Derpy bringing something highly requested and really well made to the community. So if you're gonna thank someone for making this mod, then you should thank Winter, not me.
Hi, wanna be friends?
You've had it coming.
And as I mentioned, this mod is open source, meaning that if you want to see what makes it tick, then all you need to do is open up the included source.lua file. This is definitely not the first time Derpy has made one of her projects open source, so it is nice to see that she's still doing that. I don't know how many people watching this video remembers this, but at one point, Derpy and I worked on a mod called Bullshit. And yes, that was the actual name of the project. Now, initially, the first-person mod you're looking at right now started out as a different collaborative project between me and Derpy. And like I said, it was called Bullshit at the time, and the idea spawned way back in 2015. Bullshit was basically this heavily influenced by Postal 2 first-person mod that added a bunch of mini-games as well as other fun little side activities you could do. Really dumb stuff, like running down pedestrians with a bulldozer or urinating on unsuspecting people. Eventually, the project got put on hold, remade from scratch, put on hold yet again, remade from scratch, yada yada yada. Now, whether or not Bullshit will ever see the light of day is something I am very skeptical of, but it's good to see that the first-person aspect of the mod has finally been polished, packaged, and released to the public.
Your ride's my ride now! What's this? It's getting closer!
So, let's talk about features. Something you'll quickly notice when using this mod is that it automatically disables itself during most of the cutscenes in the game. There's also a manual aim mode you can toggle by using the up and down keys on your keyboard, or up and down on your D-pad if you're using a controller. Another interesting detail is how Jimmy's animations have been altered to fit the first-person mode controls. This can sometimes make moving backwards at a slow pace kind of awkward, but it's not something that ruins the fun. You will, however, come across some issues with some of the obstacles in the game, like crawling and swimming. Swimming is kind of a struggle to control the direction in which Jimmy is heading, and crawling is Not ideal. Basically, what you have to do in order to crawl through an obstacle is shake the camera as you crawl. But as for configurations, you have basic stuff like speed, dead zone, an option to toggle the first-person mode, and even a camera movement prediction feature. Another problem is that the first-person mode will disable itself on occasion when it really shouldn't. A good example of this is the go-kart races at the carnival, but then at the same time, the go-kart street races are fine. It's not a big deal, but I am hopeful that this will be patched in a future update. Another problem you may come across is when you disable the first-person mode while also being in aim mode. This will result in the camera position freezing when you attempt to exit aim mode, at least until you make the game exit first-person mode again. Some of these issues are a bit confusing, but like I said, you can fix them easily in-game. So if anything, I'd imagine that they would be pretty easy to fix in a future update as well. Derpy also included some comments in the README file, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read some of those for you. If you have any issues with the mod, you should have probably expected them when trying to play a decade-old game in first person. If there's anything major though, please let me know. Or if you just enjoy the mod, I'd love to hear about it too. Tweet me at derpy54320. Since the camera is placed where the player's head is, certain hats may cause problems if the camera isn't pushed forward. With certain hats that the camera would clip through, I make the camera go further than normal. This means you may see through walls easier. I suggest not wearing most hats if at all possible, simply because your camera experience will be better if you don't. Some missions/activities may only be possible by using the fine aim mode by pressing the zoom in button. Now as for how well this first-person mode fits Bully, I'd say that it fits it surprisingly well. It definitely gives you a new perspective on a lot of the character and environment details Rockstar put into the game. While playing through about half of the game in first person, I often found myself taking my time to enjoy the surroundings, striking up conversations with characters, and even reading some of the newspapers and notices on the walls.
I better make sure my son hasn't messed up the business yet. I'll talk to you later.
The difference may seem small at first, but the more you play the game, the more you realize just how much detail there is. There's a lot of stuff that feels way different. Hanging around with some of the characters, playing catch, casually riding your bike, and even kissing the Bully community's favorite gay boy are just some of the activities that feel way different in first person.
This is just like one of those romance movies.
I guess I'll add this. If you are tired of playing through the game, then I suggest giving it another go, but this time, play it with this mod installed, and take your time to enjoy the surroundings. Way too often we do things that are competitive or just analytical, you know? Like, we make videos about this game, we talk about beta stuff, we look at files, we speedrun the game. There's always some kind of major focus going on. So you know what? Just, like, take some time off. Enjoy the game for what it is. Get comfy, crank up that lovely Sean Lee soundtrack, and just immerse yourself.
You know, you smell really nice.
Come on, Timmy, you know you're supposed to bring me a present.
I haven't had a date all year.
Could you be less of a dork, please? Bye-bye.
Despite Bully's rushed development, Rockstar Games did manage to put in a lot of interesting little references, Easter eggs, and details that I think you'll be surprised you never noticed before. While this mod isn't flawless, it's still very impressive just how much Derpy managed to do. There are a few problems here and there that I think should be remedied, but overall, I'd say that it's pretty much as good as it could get. I don't do a lot of Bully mod reviews anymore, but if I were to do a full-on review of this mod, then I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10 at the very least. It's one of those big projects that show you just how much potential the author of this mod has. Insanity Edition, The Cure, Super Mod, Fight Club, and now First Person Mod. So again, if you're gonna thank someone for making this, thank Derpy on Twitter. Just do it, because you know what? She deserves it. I'm gonna continue playing through the game and see if I can maybe do a first-person speedrun of Bully. I feel like that would be really interesting, because like I said, it's ostensibly a small difference, but it really changes your perspective. I'm not gonna make any promises of this happening, but yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. Anyway, that's it for this video. You folks, as always, stay classy. Peace.